Yeah?
Hey Lumia, you camera jerk, what's up?
Nothing much. Just looking for new gear as always. I'm right now looking at some anamorphic lenses. What about you?
Just sorting out old glass.
Hmm.
You still like junk?
Well, of course I
Do
like...
you still like old crappy junk or not?
Of course I still like old cameras, and of course I still like old lenses. Why?
I found some old glass in the attic.
Alright, send it over to me.
Alright, it reads 30mm 3.5.
30mm f3.5. Send it, and I have a look at it.
Nice.
Alright.
Possible?
What?
Is it possible to shoot video with old crap?
Well, I believe so. I don't know. We'll find out.
Alright.
I'll let you know when I'm done.
Okay, see you. See you, bye. Bye.
Alright, see you. Is it possible to shoot video with an old DSLR, like the Canon 5D Mark II? Well, at least that's what I've been asked. How does it feel to shoot an old DSLR? I remember, and I'm sure you can shoot video with a DSLR, because back in the days, we used to shoot video with a DSLR. I used Nikon's D7000 and D800 for video, and I shot a lot of videos with it, documentaries even. Nice times. It was not handy at all, because you always needed someone behind the camera. Doing it alone is a bit complicated. So, of course it is way more convenient today. Yeah. You got autofocus. Sometimes. And way better dynamic range. But there's still something, there's still a look to it. It of course needs more work and planning. You have to know your camera, and more importantly, you have to know the lens. And if you do it alone, like myself nowadays, oh, it's a bit complicated. Back in the day, I always had a guy behind the camera filming me. That was pretty convenient, but still you could not move, because there was no follow focus, there was no continuous autofocus, at least not usable, at least on Nikon. And another thing is that if you use manual lenses, like for example the 30mm 3.4, there is no focus peaking. You would need a prism. You can change the prism in old DSLRs. You would need it. Still there's no peaking, of course. For Canon there is the Magic Lantern mod, and I used the Magic Lantern mod. It almost feels like a real video camera with this Magic Lantern mod. Even with the Panasonic S1, it would be possible to make videos if you do the same planning as with an old DSLR like the Canon 5D Mark II. So, well, let's have a look if it is possible, and let's have a look how it looks. Let's go. No stabilization. IBIS, what is that? I'm glad it records in Full HD, and I think it looks way more filmic, so to say. I like using old cameras, old DSLRs, with just one lens. I always liked the 50. It teaches you a lot, and when I started I only got one camera and lens. You will learn a lot more with an old DSLR and just a good 50mm. The filmic look originates from the lack of specs in my opinion, and the editing and grading is not that complicated, since there is not much room for grading. Shooting video with a modern camera would be more easy, at least if it's not the Panasonic S1. A shot like that requires some preparation. Of course you need external audio. I would not even try to use a Bluetooth audio device like the Rode Wireless Me. I do not trust the internal audio recording. And of course you need a tripod. And a tripod should be in your bag if you are into filmmaking or into shooting yourself. Other than that, I think it looks fantastic. And the old Canon 5D? Well, could be still a good alternative if you want to shoot some old cameras. Me personally, I like the discomfort, sometimes at least. When doing scenes like this, I'm more into the comfort. But overall, I like to shoot quirky old cameras. I like to shoot junky cameras like the Excellent or old camcorders, mini DV camcorders. So this one, in regards to that, is kinda new, it's kinda recent. Not really, of course, and still a good camera, as we witnessed so far. I already took some nice pictures with the Canon 5D Mark II. It is loud, but it sounds so good. It sounds so pleasing. And the shutter is not that easy to press. It's not like touching it just a little bit, like on the Panasonic or the Nikon ZF. It feels like a camera. And as I said, it feels like nostalgia. What I enjoy in autumn are the colors and the weather. It is cozy inside, and everything is calmer, quieter. You do not feel the urge to go outside. You read, play instruments, or just watch something. Or you might look for new gear, new cameras and lenses. I am a victim of gas. There's more to using an old DSLR for video than just nostalgia. It looks alive, lively, filmic even. As you can see, it looks fine, but it takes some time to shoot. Way more than with a modern camera, of course. Is it fun? Yes, it is. And as you see, it is possible still. Thinking about it, mainly because it reminds me of the past, kind of. When I started, what kind of life I lived when these cameras were new. I think that's why I have a lot of fun with them. And that's why I like old cameras, old DSLRs and old quirky cameras even. Because I grew up in a time where these cameras were new and I was young enough to experience it and old enough to enjoy it. And it is the discomfort that reminds me of these times. This video was not intended to imply that these cameras are still a good option for video in 2025. They are not. And I would, for the solely purpose of making a video like this, just for making the video without any nostalgia, of course choose a modern camera like the Sony a6700 for example. I enjoy modern stuff too, but there will always be this feeling of nostalgia when using old cameras like this, especially for photography. And if you use old lenses, the combination of the old sensors with the lenses, how they render, how it looks and how it feels to take a picture. It's just pure nostalgia. It is just for the feeling, the nostalgia. We were young when these cameras came out, like the Canon 5D Mark II. We were young still, at least I was. Turning 40 in a few months. I sure was young when this camera came out. It's 16 years ago. If you are younger, you will most likely experience the same when you get older. But in your case, it will not be the Canon 5D Mark II or the Nikon D800. It will be maybe the Nikon ZF, because it will then remind you of a time when you were young and the world was different. You will remember Canon R5. You will remember, Nikon Z6. These will be your nostalgic reminders maybe. After a while you will feel that. And I'm happy for you that you can feel that. It's a special feeling that makes happy and sad all at the same time. I think in Japanese it's mono no aware. Enjoy that feeling. It brings you back.